DIYer behind LemonThistle.com, and today I am really excited to share our kitchen renovation with you guys. We moved into this house about 5 months ago, not quite, and in that time we have taken on a huge main floor renovation, and the heart of that was our kitchen. So the kitchen actually used to be over there, and now it's over here, and it's now like so much bigger and so much more functional and beautiful, and I love it, and it's perfect for our family. Before I show you all of the details, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would so love if you did that below so you don't miss out on any more DIY, home decor, or renovation videos. So if you haven't been following along, we bought this house at the end of June, so not quite 5 months ago now. There is a video of our new home and what it looked like before, the plans that we have for it. I'll link that. There's also a blog post on the design plans for the kitchen, what we had planned for it, and then I did a video update kind of vlog style as we were going through it because we did a ton of this ourselves. We are DIYers at heart, so we were the people doing the demo. We were the people building the studs and putting the drywall up and so much stuff, you guys. And now to see it all done is like, feels so good. So let me share with you.
We chose to renovate this for a whole bunch of reasons, and I talk a lot about them in my kitchen update video. But basically, the way that the kitchen was, we were wasting a ton of space. I could also not see the living room and not participate in a lot of the family things that I was used to participating in at our last home. And when we looked at the house, honestly, I told Shane, I'm like, I don't know that I can give that up. That's a really big deal for me. So in the center of our house, there's a giant brick chimney. So taking down the wall would have been a ton of work and a ton of money. And Shane came up with the idea of moving the kitchen to the back of the house because there's quite a large opening there between what would then be the kitchen and the living room. And that worked out so perfectly. I am really, really happy we made that decision. So beyond moving the kitchen, coming up with the footprint of the kitchen is something I really love doing. I love to start playing in the IKEA kitchen builder, actually, and even though we didn't use IKEA this time around because there would have been a lot of custom pieces that we would have had to do ourselves that we didn't feel totally confident in, given the angle of the bay window especially. That's a really great place to start to try and visualize how much space you have for what type of cabinets. And then I took what I had mocked up and I took my drawings to a bunch of different kitchen places and found one that was on board with our design and really ran with it.
This kitchen is super exciting for us because, well, I mean, washing your dishes in the bathtub is overrated, but also the design part of it just feels so good to see it come to life. This was a risk for us. When we bought our first home 5 years ago and we renovated it top to bottom, we went with all the safe options. We did light gray walls everywhere, we did white kitchen cabinets, we did light gray countertops, and everything was safe. Safe. And I loved it, it was beautiful, but it wasn't totally our style. And we always said, when we move again, we want to do things like a little bit more bold, a little bit more like what we love. And I think that that came out really beautifully.
So the things that we chose in this kitchen, we chose the flat panel shakers, and I chose a pretty narrow profile on the shaker. I like that this is super clean, but it's also super classic. Like, shakers have been around for a really long time. I also did this green color. This is a custom paint color, and we matched a paint sample on this one. We matched general paint in Dakota, and I really love how this turned out. It looks really green during the evenings, and then during the day it almost looks like a gray. Because we chose to paint it instead of show the wood grain, we actually went with like an MDF. It's not MDF, but it's something like that. Gray doors instead of the wood, because the way it was explained to me is the wood flexes with the weather and the humidity changing, and so you'll end up with little cracks in your paint between where the shaker meets the flat panel. I feel like the green kitchen is really modern, but this color of green has kind of been around for a long time. Like, it almost has an old world appeal to it, but then adding in the black hardware and the modern touches and the stacked tile really does make the kitchen modern as well. Because we wanted to go with black hardware and the darker cabinets, we really wanted to keep it light everywhere else. So we went with a light countertop, light tile, and really light walls. So the countertop we went with, I am so happy with. It is a solid surface quartz. It is called Lagoon, which is by Silestone by Cosentino, and it has been holding up so well. I'm super impressed with it, you guys. We chose this pattern specifically because I love the look of that kind of marbled veining, but with a kitchen that has so many angles and so many turns, something with really strong veining like that would look so busy. So this one has the veining in it, but it's more subtle and it's non-directional, which was the biggest thing that we were looking for. The tile that we chose is so beautiful. We partnered with Complete Floors and Kamloops on this, and I loved the look of stacked. My husband really loved the look of stacked, but I was worried that it would take it too modern and too cold with the stacked look, because that is a really modern look. So we countered that with some handmade looking tiles. They're not actually handmade, but they have that texture and they have an edge that's a little bit rougher. And how this reflects off the light and how it shines and how it looks less stark is exactly what I was going for, and I am so pleased with how it turned out. Some of the other things that we did in this kitchen that I am really happy with is opting for the lighter wood floors, which wasn't our plan. We had planned to use the flooring that was in the dining room and carry it through the kitchen, but it was discontinued. We tried so hard to track it down but couldn't. I talk more about that in my last video about the kitchen. But when we decided to go with the lighter flooring, honestly, it just was a bit of a game changer. Like, we love it so much now. So we carried out that lighter wood color up into our open shelving here. And I really love how the open shelving brings the warmth of the wood up the wall too, towards the dining room, and not just keeping it in the kitchen with the wood shades on the windows, but it also balances the windows. Because to go from having windows on one whole side of your kitchen to all of a sudden cabinets, I just felt like that would be really heavy and it wouldn't keep it as open and bright as it is right now. So having the open shelving opposite the window around the stove and around the range there balances it for the look of it. But we also really love open shelving for the functionality. We had some small open shelving in our last kitchen that we built ourselves, and we kept all of our dishware on there, our everyday plates and bowls and that sort of thing. And I loved it. I loved how easy it was to just put it away straight out of the dishwasher, and it looked pretty. We went ahead and did that again here, but our dishes were getting really, really beat up. So we upgraded, and guys, these dishes are amazing. They are from the Kitchen Stuff Plus a la carte collection, and they're the Ashford dishes. We have black flatware, and we haven't had any issues at all with them scuffing or any marks. Plus, they look so beautiful stacked on these shelves. The glasses that we got are also from Kitchen Stuff Plus, and I'll link all that below. One of the things that we found in our last kitchen remodel is that the lighting that we chose, while we loved it, it just wasn't quite bright enough. And that's something that we had decided before we even bought this place that we would do better the next time around. So I really do like the look of layered lighting, so not just one kind of light. So we did pot lights throughout the kitchen so that there is a bright light should you want it if you're cooking or cleaning. But then we also did a flush mount light over the sink, and we did arm lights over the open shelving. And then we chose not to do pendants over top of the peninsula because the peninsula is really short, honestly, and because the dining room light is right behind it. So that sight line, I wanted the dining room light to be the feature, so we just opted for pot lights over top of the peninsula as well. All of the lights in this space are from Wayfair. We are really happy with all of them. I'll link them all below. Also from Wayfair are these leather bar stools. These stools were a great price. I would have loved to be able to fit, 4 bar stools so that all of our kids could sit up here, but in the way that this kitchen is laid out, there was really no way to make that happen and still make the best use of the space. We pictured this peninsula as a great spot for the kids to work and to do crafts and the different things that we like to do. And so we decided to put in a hidden cupboard in the back corner of the peninsula. So from the front, from the kitchen side, we don't have a turntable or a corner unit. We just have standard banks of drawers. And then on the back side, we have a cupboard that takes up that empty space. And so we use that one for kids' craft stuff, anything like Play-Doh. Speaking of hidden cupboards, we did another one. The big pantry wall that we have here, I talked about it in our vlog update of the kitchen renovation, it's actually 3 different depths. So it's a little bit of a mess, and we wanted to cover over that and hide it, but also to make the best use of the space. So at the end of the bank of pantry cupboards where the coffee maker is, that is only 18 inches deep. But then on the flip side, we have a full depth fridge here. And beside the full depth fridge, we have another pantry cupboard, and that one, we figured we're not gonna make the best use of space of the cupboards at the back. That is a super deep cupboard. So instead of running it all the way to the back, we just did a side panel on the 18-inch depth cabinets there, and then we did a hidden, so just a touch push closet there for our brooms and our mops and everything else. More hidden storage, and this one was a nice surprise for us. We didn't actually realize that the hood fan cover was going to open. So we bought the hood fan insert, and we wanted to have it cased out and have the matching cabinets just to bring the green up to mirror the full height pantry on the other wall. All right, one of the things that I did want to talk about is the pot filler and that wall with the bump out for the range. Now, this is something that I had on my wish list. I really love the look of a pot filler, and I thought the functionality of it is great too, but the range had to go on an exterior wall in the design of the kitchen. And we live in a climate that gets really cold in the winters, so having plumbing on exterior walls like that is not recommended because the pipes can freeze and break. So what we did instead, and we talked to a bunch of people before doing this, so I feel confident in recommending it, we built out a stub wall, so a 3-inch wall, and all the plumbing runs inside that bump out. So none of it is in the exterior wall. So behind that bump out, the exterior wall is still drywalled, and this is just an additional wall to hide the plumbing. Since we didn't want it to look like it was just to hide the plumbing, we decided to take it out further than just the range, and we extended it to have these 2 small cabinets on either side of the range so that it was a feature. The pot filler is just one that I ordered off of Amazon. It was really affordable, but we've had no issues with it. It's been fantastic, honestly. Over the sink, we got better quality faucets because those get used and abused all the time by our family. So we partnered with Vigo for the sink and for the faucet there. And I love this square basin sink. We chose to get a sink with 2 basins that were the same size. And I really like this. At the last house, we had a bigger one and a smaller one, which was fine, but it just kind of felt off center. And also, when you went to fill up the big sink, it took so much water. So we wanted to try something a little bit different. The faucet is one of their newer ones. It is such a clean, sleek looking faucet, and I love their matte black finish. It doesn't show fingerprints and grease in the way that I kind of expected it would. It's really a great finish for that. And then we were lucky enough to find this hot water dispenser that almost matches the faucet. I actually spotted that in a kitchen and bath showroom in town here, and I'm like, this is exactly what I want, but I couldn't find it anywhere online. So we partnered with InSinkErator for that. They make both the garbage disposals and the hot water dispensers, so we put both in there. A garburator is something that we have wanted for a long time. My parents had one, and it was just one of those things on our wish list. So to have the hot water dispenser for coffee and tea, and to have the garburator in there, I just feel like it's such a functional space now. And I love that we didn't have to sacrifice the design as well, because they do make these matte black fixtures that are super sleek and modern. So you can see we did the button as well for the garburator in the countertop, and that's a matte black as well to coordinate. The hardware in our kitchen is from Liberty Hardware. They're interesting, but they're not too out there. They're sleek enough to be really simple. And also they don't have any of those ends sticking out to catch on your clothes as you walk by. When I was choosing the pulls, I really wanted to do all the same pull. So we have 2 different sizes, but they are all the drawer pulls like that as opposed to knobs. I actually put a lot of thought into not just the pulls, but the cabinet faces so that the different sight lines would look really symmetrical. And this is because I know it was modern and it's a little bit different to have the black and the light and the green, but I also wanted it to feel classic. When you look at the kitchen sink, all of those cabinets are door fronts. And typically you would have a faux panel drawer on the front of your sink But because we couldn't have drawers on those angle cabinets on either side of the bay window there, and because the front, you can see there's one panel there with no hardware on it, that is just a cover panel for the side of that cabinet. So I wanted it to appear really symmetrical so that that side panel just blends in and it didn't look like we were hiding something. And then you can see under the coffee maker there, that is a garbage and recycling pullout. And so we turned the handle the opposite way for that one. And then on the flip side, when you are looking down the kitchen towards the dining room, this end of the cabinets is all drawers. And I chose to do the 2 smaller drawers over the 2 larger drawers for both banks on the peninsula and under the open shelving. Other little design things that we chose to do is the flat panel drawers on top. The ones around the stove were really too small to do the shakers, that they would have looked a little bit funny. So we just chose to go flat panel all the way across instead of mixing and matching. I also chose to really beef up the end panel on the peninsula and beside the garbage disposal there where the cabinets end. I thought this thicker end panel, it's very plain. There is no, trim or molding on it, but it just seems beefier and I really love how that looks. The pantry wall that we did here packs a big punch-in storage, but also hides some of our appliances. The doors right beside our fridge open up and then slide in. So we have our microwave in there, we have electrical run there. Okay, the last thing that I really want to talk about here is our coffee station. And I'm going to be doing a full blog post on that, but I'm not going to be doing a new video, so I thought that I'd bring it up here. We upgraded to this beautiful Breville barista espresso maker, and we had an older Breville espresso maker from when we got married almost 10 years ago. And my dad and my sister-in-law, they all have this specific model of espresso maker. And so we'd been dreaming of it for a long time. When we were remodeling our kitchen, we thought this was going to be our treat to us when we finish it. And I am so excited I was able to partner with Breville on this. And so I'll be talking a bit more about the coffee bar. But laying out our kitchen, that is something that we thought about. We wanted to have a plug-in where it was convenient to have the coffee maker. It's right over the garbage pullout, so we can empty the grounds into there, and it's right beside the sink, so we can rinse that out. And then we chose to install the hot water dispenser because we make Americanos all the time instead of lattes. And so to be able to just bring your mug over and fill it up, the whole system and layout is just working so well for us. And I mean, we go through a lot of coffee. Okay, I have talked a lot. A couple more things that I did. That DIY art above the coffee maker, I just wanted to bring some of the light wood up there, but I didn't want a photo and I didn't want a sign with words. So that's something that I'll post a DIY tutorial for. I will also post a DIY tutorial coming up for the wooden window balances that we have over the sink. And we will never close those windows. We look out over a green space, so we have enough privacy there. But I did feel like the windows were a little bit naked. So I made these, you guys, they are perfect. They warm up the windows, they make them look finished, and they didn't break the bank. So I'll post a DIY tutorial on that as well.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it that thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more DIY, home decor, or renovation videos. We'll see you next time.